Hi, y'all. My name is Mara. I'm the marketing director, the website manager here at Ugly Mug Marketing. And today I'm so excited because I get to talk with y'all about some things that could possibly be hurting your website and potentially even wasting money from your website. And then we're going to talk about some amazing tips and tricks that you can do and change on your website to make it a success, to make it reach your goals. So that's a brief overview about what we're going to be doing here. I'm going to share my screen with you just so that we can see the same thing. And that'll give y'all a chance to get on. When y'all get on, just give me a little, you know, the emoji that like waves. Give me one of those and I'll be sure to say hey back. All right. So we are starting today. Hey, Bridget, with 5 reasons your website is wasting money. And just so y'all are aware ahead of time, that is a window right behind me. So you may see people walk by. All right. So a little bit about myself. Like I confused y'all a second ago, I'm the website manager here at Ugly Mug Marketing. I just got my words mixed up a little. But a couple things I love. I love hiking, I love photography, and I love my dog. His name is Saber. He is a Husky German Shepherd mix. And he is, if you can believe this, he has about as much sass as I do. So just to give you a heads up. But this is what I do whenever I'm not at work. That gives you just a little bit about who I am. And today I want to talk through those 5 reasons on things. Hey, Leanne, how you doing? On some things that could possibly be affecting your website. But then I want to go on the positive side. So that's the negative side. I want to go to the positive side on what we need to include for your website. And then what website content is probably one of the hardest things for all of my clients. So I have about 8 different tips that I'm going to give y'all for website content to hopefully make it a lot easier and more pleasant to work through. And then at the very end, I'm going to offer you some free resources through everything that we just talked about. So there's the 5 reasons, what your website needs to include, key tips, and then some free resources. And since we like to give stuff away, I don't know if y'all know this, but Wayne Mullins, the owner and founder of Ugly Mug Marketing, hey, Rebecca, welcome, is an author. So we have this book here. The title is, So You Have a Website, Now What? And Wayne goes through a lot of very helpful information in this book, everything from talking about different types of websites to how you can make money from your website. So I have 3 of these to give away today, and I'm just going to tell you how you can get those right now. Throughout this whole webinar, I'll be giving you chances to comment, and I'll tell you what to comment when we get there. But what you're going to do is you're going to comment, hey, Lydia, and you're going to tell me whatever the key phrase is. And when you do, you'll be entered to win one of Wayne's books. As a little bonus, if you're a business owner and you win, I'm also going to be giving away a free website audit. Usually that costs about $295, but today I want to give it to you for free. So those are your 3 chances to win during today's webinar. And then after it's all over, we're going to have a grand prize. I'm going to tell you all about that at the very end. So make sure you stay tuned. All right. Are you ready to jump in? Here are 5 reasons why your website is wasting money. First one, no goal for your website. Okay, this is incredibly important. If you've seen any of the webinars that I've done in the past, this is something that I always bring up, and there's a reason. It is the number one thing that you have to have for your website. You have to have a goal. If we think about athletes or competitors of any kind, there's an end or a goal that they're reaching for, whether it's winning a game, or reaching a certain amount of money sold or purchased items. That is a goal. So your website needs to have a goal. It needs to have that one thing that it's supposed to do. Your website is a tool, so you got to make it work for you. So if you don't have a goal for your website, that could be losing you money right there. What you have on your site is not going to be cohesive towards each other. They're not going to be reaching towards one thing. So the ideas or anything else on your site is going to be sporadic, may not be outlined properly, anything like that, where if you had a goal, it would all be helpful to reach that. So organization is very, very key, but you have to have a goal for your site in order to make the images, the text, any of your call to actions, to make it all work together. You have to have that goal. And if you're just joining us in, we just got through the first of 5 things that could be causing your website to lose money. You paid a lot of money for this site, most likely. And you don't want to waste that money. It's an investment. So use the tool that you built in order to help build your company. All right, y'all ready for number 2? Your website is too slow. All right, how many of y'all have gotten to a website and you just see the spinny circle? Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? That circle just goes around and around and around. Sometimes it's like a line that fills in and then goes back and fills in again. Way too slow. If your website is too slow, you will lose visitors to your site. So according to a statistic here, 47% of consumers expect your website to load in 2 seconds or less. So I'm just going to count to 2 seconds so we can get a time frame here. Ready? 1, 2. That's it. Your website should be fully loaded, 2 seconds. And then this is the kicker. 40% of people abandon a website that takes more than 3 seconds to load. So you'll notice between these two statistics, wow, tongue-tied today, that 1 second is a big deal. So that first one, half of the people expect your website to load in less than 2 seconds. That last one there, 40% of people will leave your website if it's not loaded by 3 seconds. Incredibly important. One of the resources I'm going to be telling y'all about at the end is some page load tools that you can test your website in. And it'll tell you how fast it loads, what is causing the holdup, things that you can fix in order to make it faster. So make sure you stay tuned for that at the end. All right, so that was number 2. And number 3, lacks quality content. All right, so you heard me mention content earlier and how it is one of the hardest things that our clients, it takes the most amount of time, it takes the most amount of energy on their side. Sometimes it's just really confusing, but it will waste you money because people will not purchase from you. They won't fill out any lead generation forms if the content on your site either is too confusing, doesn't have anything to do with what you're trying, like your goal, what you're trying to get them to do. Even pictures, if you have pictures on your site that are blurry, that turns people off. Whether or not they notice it right away, there's something in the back of their mind that's telling them, I don't know, right? Now, I said too confusing earlier about your content. People only read about 28% of the text that you have on your website. So when I said it's too confusing, that means that people can't see that 28% or can't see half of what you're saying, and be able to process what you want them to do or what they're supposed to know. Incredibly important to have clear content on your site. All right. One of the key things that I always tell my clients is your website is not for you. Yes, it has your company's name on it. It may be your favorite logo that you chose, but it's not for you. It's for your clients. Leanne, don't worry, we got you. We'll send you all the tools. Okay, so if it's for your visitors or your clients and not you, then you're not speaking to yourself, you're speaking to them, which means that you have to convince them. You have to give them value on why they should come to your site or what they should do when they're at your site. So making sure that your content is clear, not confusing, straight to the point, and presented in a way that people can understand it and browse through it quickly is incredibly important. And if you don't have that, it could be wasting you money. Hey, Lindsay, welcome. And as we're going through this, y'all, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. Let me know. I have Jessica here with me today so that I can focus on, or don't have to focus on two different things. So she's going to let me know your questions if you have them. Okay, number 4, if your website is not mobile friendly, or in other words, does not have a responsive design, you could be wasting money for your site. 52% of the users who are on the internet view it from their smartphone. And let me clarify this. That's just the phone. That's not a tablet, just on their phone. So a responsive design is something that responds to the size screen that you're viewing it on. So the website, if I'm looking at it on my laptop, you'll notice it's a wider screen, right? But if I'm looking at my phone, it's a thinner screen. Your website has to be able to translate between multiple different size screens and still convey the information that's on your site in something that's readable and pleasant to look at. Incredibly important, especially in today's world. And this is actually this percentage is going up a whole lot. This is from the first quarter of 2020, but I'm sure with COVID numbers and everyone staying at home, it's actually probably going to go higher with more people who are on their site. And just an example of that, some numbers here for you. In the past 7 years, so it's 2020, so we're at 2013. What were you doing in 2013? I was in college. It has gone up. The number of people who use their phones to view websites has gone up 222%. So keep this in mind. The number is going to keep growing. And then this is incredibly important for my small business owners out there. 50% of business to business inquiries are made on mobile websites. Incredibly important. One of those resources that I have for y'all at the end is a mobile responsive test where you can put your website URL into that, and then it'll tell you whether or not your website is mobile friendly. Another way you can do it is you can pull your website up on your phone. If you have to zoom in at all on your phone with your fingers, it's not mobile responsive. If you're looking at it on your phone and there are links that you can't click on because they're not clear enough, they're not large enough, there's a good chance it's not mobile friendly. If images are going beyond the size of your phone or your your tablet, good chance it's not responsive. So that was number 4 out of 5. And I can't stress this enough, incredibly important to have a mobile friendly design. All right, so we are to number 5. Your website could be wasting you money, actually most definitely is wasting you money if there is no call to action on your site. All right, What is a call to action? Well, exactly how it sounds. You're telling somebody to do something. So when I come to your website and I see a button that says sign up here or sign up today, that's a call to action. If you don't have anything on your site at all telling somebody to do something, what's the purpose of your website? Yes, it's to inform people, to get your presence out there so people can look you up, but there's got to be something that you want it to do. And this goes back to the very first one that I talked about here, and that was having a goal for your website. This call to action is directly related to that goal. 70%, this is a crazy statistic here, 70% of small business websites don't have a call to action. That's a large number. You have spent too much money and time on your website for it not to do anything for you. This is a tool, remember? This is something that needs to help grow your company. And if used properly, it's a magnificent tool and will grow your company. But you got to have certain things in place. And one of those key things is a goal. And then one of those other ones is a call to action that talks directly to that goal. Okay, so that was a lot. That was all 5. Oh yeah, so these are some of really good examples of call to actions. Netflix, I use this one often because it's right in your face. Like there's nothing else on this screen here besides this call to action to try Netflix for free. Google, same thing. There's nothing else whenever you Google, whenever you go to the webpage, there's nothing else there except you putting what you're searching for in the search bar. Over here for Twitter, you do have 2 options. You have sign up or log in, but it's still the same idea. They want you to be on the platform. And then Apple down here, they also have 2, but they're related. So if you're having a call to action on your site and you're having one call to action, that's incredible because people will not be confused. If it's 2 or more, they should coincide or correlate so that people understand what you want them to do. Again, this one right here, Netflix and Google, straight to the point. They're not messing around. They want you to know what to do. And that's how your website should be too. When people get to your site, they should have no doubt in their mind about what you want them to do. Okay, so let's go through those 5 again. 5 things that if you don't have them on your site are wasting you and your company money. No goal, that's number 1. Number 2, it's too slow, way too slow. Number 3, lacks quality content or content that's understandable. Number 4, it's not responsive. And number 5, what we just talked about, no calls to action. Okay, so if you don't know anything about me, I'm going to give you a little hint here. I don't like to talk a lot. So this webinar here is probably going to be the most amount of words that I say for the next 2 days. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a little break from talking and I'm going to let y'all talk, okay? So in the comments, what you're going to do is you're going to put, I want the book. That's all you have to put, I want the book, all right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put your name into a spinning wheel, looks just like this, and we're going to spin to see who wins. And if you're just logging in here, this book right here is called So You Have a Website Now What? Our owner, Wayne Mullins, wrote this book, and I am giving it away today for free. So if you would like this, comment now. As y'all are doing that, I will go ahead and pull up the other screen. Let's see here. All right, So I have a total of 5 people right now. Remember, comment, I want the book if you want. All right, Paul, you want one too. Here we go. Pardon me as I type all of your names in here. Okay, are y'all ready? And if you don't know anything, we use, if you don't know anything, let me finish my sentence here. If you want to learn something about ugly mug marketing, we like things that are exciting and different, all right? So you'll actually be able to, hopefully you'll be able to hear this as well. Are y'all ready? Last chance. Anybody else say anything? Okay, we'll give you all one more second because I think somebody else did. All right. I'm so excited, y'all. I love this thing. And just to let you know what you're winning a Wayne Mullins original book. So you have a website, now what? It's gonna walk you through some very important information you need to know about your website. It's gonna walk you through different types of websites and how to make your website a success and make money. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Can you hear that, y'all? Ta-da! Yay, Bridget, you won. Perfect. I will set that aside for you and give this to you. And if you would like a website audit, I can give that to you as well. All right, so now we're gonna go back to all right, here. Now, okay, so we talked about the negative things, right? We talked about 5 reasons why your website is wasting money. Now we're going to talk about the positive side. So 7 things that you need to have in your website to make it a success. All right. Like I said at the beginning, if you have any questions, put them in the comments. Let me know. I want to answer those for you. At any time, if you're logging in, give me one of those little wave hand emojis and I'll say hey to you as well. I like it when people are talking. It's more interesting to me than just me talking. Okay, the first thing that you have to have on your website is a clear description. Okay, so you're like, what does that mean? To be clear, that means when somebody goes to your website, they need to know exactly who you are as soon as they get there. People form an opinion about your website in 0.05 seconds. So earlier I counted 2 seconds out to you. I cannot count 0.05 seconds. It is incredibly fast. And as soon as they get to your site, that fast, they're going to decide whether or not they're going to stay or leave, right? So you have to have who you are, what you do, a logo, some sort of branding so that people know as soon as they get to the site, oh yeah, I'm on the right site. Or, oh, that's what you do. Very quick. 46% of buyers will leave immediately if they can't figure out what you do. Immediately. So 0.5 seconds immediately. That's very fast. You have to have a clear description of who you are. Like I said, that could be a logo, it could be branding, it could be a clear tagline, something that people can see and immediately recognize is you. That's the first thing. The second thing is it is easy to navigate. So one thing that is kind of difficult when you go to a website is trying to find things. That's what your navigation bar is for. That's the list of links at the top of the page or at the very bottom of the page that tell you where to go on the site. Your website has to be easy to navigate. So I have an example here, and this is our website. I took a screenshot of it earlier, and if you go to our website, this is a video, so that's why it looks kind of interesting to have a hand right there. But that's a video playing in the background. So right here, you'll notice at the top, we have 3 links. We have services, why us, and contact. Within those 3 links, you'll be able to find what you need anywhere on the site. So if I want to know who is Ugly Mug Marketing, I go to the Why Us tab right here. Or if I see the services and I'm really interested in visual design, it's right there. I can click on it. And one of the key things is this contact us right over there on the side. Sometimes when people go to your website, all they want to know is, how do I call you? I have some questions. I don't feel like looking through your entire site. Let me call you. Make sure your website, your navigation bar is very clear for those who are coming to your site. You got to have it. And I did just mention this, but the third thing here is you have to have contact information that is easy to use, easy to find. Hey, Richard, how you doing? And right in your face. So again, this is from our website here. And this, you'll see here, we have a couple different ways to find contact information. We have the page right up here in the top navigation. And then in the footer, so that's this at the very bottom of the website, that's called the footer. That's where you can find a phone number, a contact form, all of the social media links. You have to be able to have multiple different ways for people to get in touch with you, but that's very crystal clear and easy to find. So that was the third thing, which leads us to the fourth. So we talked about this one in the 5 reasons your website is wasting money, but I want to bring it up again here on something you need to have. You got to have it. You got to have one thing that you want people to do whenever they get to your site. One thing. And again, I'm going to show you Netflix here. They do an excellent job of having that one clear call to action. They want you to try their platform. That's it. Now, yeah, there is other text here, but it draws attention right there. Richard, we were doing a little giveaway earlier, but if you stay tuned, we have another one coming up, and I'll tell you what to say to get that book as well. So hold on. Okay, so that is a must. You have to have one clear call to action. Got to have it. The 5th thing here is you have to have a place to capture leads. So if your website is a brochure website, and in a previous webinar, I talked through what a brochure website is, but a quick version of that is it's something to tell other people who you are. So you're not necessarily selling things online or have a specific, I don't know, product that's coming out, something like that. You're just telling people who you are, what you do, and why they should trust you. But if you don't have a place to turn those viewers into clients or customers, again, we're going back to one of the reasons that your website could be wasting you money. Hey, Melanie. You got to have a place to be able to capture people's information. Now, this is obviously when they give it to you. So right here, you'll see some examples of different ways to capture information. This one right over here is our contact form. I do like Netflix, Paul, but it's mainly because they have one clear call to action, and it's one of the only websites that I've seen that has it's so blatant, like right in your face, besides Google. So this one right over here is for a music company, and this is to sign up for more information from them. So how you have different forms or different signups depends completely on the goal of your website. But you got to keep in mind of who your audience is. So if you're coming to Ugly Mug Marketing's page right here, you want to do something amazing with us. That's why you're there. Don't worry, Richard. Here, I'll give you a sneak peek. It is a book written by the one and only Wayne Mullins. It's So You Have a Website, Now What? And it goes through different types of websites and how to make your website a monetary, make money for you, basically. It's a really good book. So that'll be coming up shortly where you can win that again. So there are different ways that you can capture leads, but the goal behind all of that is to turn casual viewers into people who want to learn more about you, into people who buy things from you or become part of your team, into people who tell other people about you. So it's a process, and that's the whole point of having some sort of lead capture form. So these are just a couple different options of lead capture forms, but the main point here is you got to have one on your site. All right, number 6, you got to have social proof. Social proof can be done a variety of ways. It can be, as you can see here, it can be reviews. It can be testimonials. This one right up here, Grant Shelton website, the Worldwide Tires website, has a map of all the different places where they've sold tires. That's social proof. That's telling other people reasons why they should trust you. Trust is incredibly important on a website, and social proof is a key way that you can give trust to your viewers by using what other people say about you or proof of purchase from other people to help in either purchasing decisions or filling out that lead form that we just talked about. Incredibly important to have some sort of social proof on your website. And then, like I just said, trust is incredibly important. So this is number 7 on things that you have to have on your website. Security. Your website has to be secure. If you're on a site where you can purchase something and people can tell immediately that your website is not secure, they will avoid you at all costs. And it is actually a whole lot easier to tell if a website is secure if you're using a Chrome browser specifically, but it does happen on other browsers as well. In the top left-hand corner of the website, it'll say not secure. That's crystal clear. So you have to have a secure website. Just a couple ways that you can secure your website here. One is an SSL certificate. Basically, it's data files that talk between your server and your company and determine, once they go through the whole process, that your website is safe and it's okay to view. That's what puts the little lock in the top left-hand side of your website. Gotta have it. Gotta have a secure certificate on your site. Another thing that you can do to add security to your site, which is a benefit to you and the people who are viewing your site, is to have regularly scheduled backups. You can do this through your hosting company. You can tell them, I'd like a backup every month, or I'd like it every 2 months, or every week, whatever you want it to be. That will help you out substantially. And there's also, through your hosting company, there's also the ability to have different kinds of malware checks or security subscriptions. Go ahead and apply for them. Usually it's a couple bucks a month. And in the long run, it's going to help your website stay extremely more secure. So secure, you got to have that SSL certificate on your site to give you that little lock so it doesn't say not secure. Make sure you're getting backups on your website, and also make sure you have some sort of security subscription through your hosting company. All right, so we're going to go through those 7 things again. A clear description of who you are, and these are the 7 things you got to have on your website. So the first part was 5 things that will waste your money on your website if you don't have them. This is 7 things that you got to have on your website. So a clear description of who you are. Remember, 0.05 seconds. Somebody's going to determine whether or not they're going to stay on your site. Clear, easy to use navigation. They got to be able to get around your site to be able to find what they're looking for. Easy to find contact information. If they just want to call you, do you have your phone number on your page so that all they have to do is click it or type in the numbers and give you a call? You also have to have that one main call to action. You got to be telling them what they need to do when they get to your site. You also have to have a place to capture leads when they get to your site, so we can turn the casual viewers into clients, into people who are telling others about you. You got to have trust. Your website has to be full of trust so that people, when they come to it, will actually proceed with learning about you or proceed with purchasing. And then that last one there, you got to have a secure website. Got to have it. Okay, Richard, are you ready? This is your second chance to win this book right here. And if you can't see it, it is So You Have a Website, Now What? It'll talk through different types of websites and how to make your website make money for you. This is a book that Wayne Mullins wrote, our owner and operator. So I'm going to be giving this away for free, along with a website audit if you would like it. So we're going to do the same thing that we did last time, except now I would like you to say, oh man, I blanked. I don't know what I want you to say. Let's say, please send the book. All right, that's the keyword. Please send the book. If you do that, we're going to put your name into a spinning wheel, which is going to tell us who won. Like I said earlier, we like exciting things here at Ugly Mug Marketing, and one of the ways that we can be excited is through this spinning wheel. If you've done a website with me in the past, you'll know that I bring one of these to our kickoff meetings, and I give away some prizes because I like winning prizes. So I figure everybody else would too. All right, so I'm going to share my screen here so that we can see the spinning wheel. And Jessica is quickly writing down all of those names so I can go ahead and type them in here. But real quickly, I want to recap what we just talked about. We talked about the 5 reasons why your website is wasting you money. And then we talked about 7 things that you have to have on your website. All right. Sorry, she just handed me the list. So I'm going to start typing. And then the next thing we're going to talk about here is 8 key tips for writing content. All right. Sorry. Sometimes I can't talk and type at the same time without misspelling somebody's name. So bear with me. All right. Here we go. Are y'all ready? I love these sound effects. Yay, Leanne! Woohoo! Perfect. All right. So we will be sending you this book right here, along with a free website audit if you would like that as well. And don't worry, if, oh man, you can't hear any of that? Okay. So basically, it's like a clicking noise every time that the little circle goes around. It goes click, 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 and it goes faster because the wheel is spinning faster. I'm sorry you can't hear it. It's really exciting. Okay, so you have one more chance to win that book, and it'll be coming up shortly. So if you didn't win yet, don't worry, you still have a chance. But I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to jump right into the next section. And this one is, like I mentioned earlier, it's one of the more complicated parts of the website process. And not because it's difficult to do or people don't know what they want to say, but because you have one chance to make a connection with people who are coming to your site. Remember that time frame we just talked about? You have 0.05 seconds before someone turns around. You got to make it count. And so creating content for your site that does that in split seconds or in an easily readable way, it's incredibly important. All right, so we're going to walk right through these here. And we're going back. It is your lucky day, Leanne. We are going back to, you've got to know the goal of your website. So if you don't have a goal for your website, but you're trying to write content for your website or put content on your site, but you don't know what you're reaching for, how are you going to write content that helps your company? You've got to know your goal, and the content that's on your site has to go towards that goal. And I said this earlier, your website's a tool. You've got to make it work for you. What are you doing on your site? Are you just trying to inform people of who you are? Are you selling a certain product? Are you trying to get people to sign up for something? Whatever it is, you've got to have that goal before you can write any kind of content to make sure everyone is on the same page. All right, number 2, you have to know your audience. You got to. It's very important. There's a couple different ways here that I have to kind of break down who you're talking to. You got to know, first off, who's your main target audience, right? So who are the main people that are coming to your site? But secondly, you have to know who the secondary people are or who might just happen upon your website, right? So you're not just writing it for one group of people, although the majority of what you're looking for or creating can go towards that. You have to be prepared to be able to reach whoever comes to your site. So you got to know their expertise level. So are the main people who are coming to your site fluent in what you do? Or do they have no clue who you are? You got to have that figured out before you write any kind of content. You also have to know what they actually are coming to your website for. What do they want to get out of your website? That's important to know how you're going to talk to them when they get to your website. How are they coming to your website? It's important. If they are getting sent to a certain page from another page, so it's like linked to send them there, there's got to be some correlation between the two pages. So it's not just, oh, wait, brand new page. They got to connect. And you have to know the interests of the people who are coming to your site. Got to know what colors appeal to them, what fonts appeal to them. It's all incredibly important whenever you're talking about your website and reaching those people. All right. This is probably one of my favorite ones. Write short, simple sentences. Now, this can seem juvenile, but you can write short sentences and get big points across. So just because it's short or simple does not mean you're not giving away any useful information or you're not sounding like the expert in your field, right? It's just making it crystal clear to everyone who's coming to your site what you do or what they're looking for. I found this to be very interesting. The average American adult reads at a 7th grade to 9th grade level. So is your website way above that? So the average person can't read it? You got to make sure. At the end, if you're looking for some resources, I do have a link for y'all where you can put your content into it and it'll tell you what grade level your content is at. Kind of cool. Remind me at the end. All right, number 4, tips for content. You gotta avoid insider language, acronyms, company protocol, how you say stuff. You can have it in there, but you gotta explain it too, right? So if I just went out and said UMM, what does it mean? The letter UMM. Now, if you've been around, we use that inside of our office to shorten Ugly Mug Marketing, but that's internal. On our website, it says Ugly Mug Marketing. Now, if you have some technical things on your site that need to be shortened, that's fine, shorten them. But make sure the first time they're listed, you have it written out so that other people know what you're talking about. Here's some examples real quickly of some that we use. So CMS, Content Management System. That's the ability to change content on your site without having coding knowledge. But we shorten it to CMS all the time. Same with CTA. So that call to action that I was talking about earlier, whenever I'm writing that, I never write call to action. I always write CTA. But on the website, spell it out. Make sure people know what you're talking about. And most people know this last one here, frequently asked questions. But that's a mouthful, so I'm just going to say FAQs. Know who your audience is so that you know when to clarify what you're getting across in your content. Make the text that's on your site scannable. One of the statistics that I had at the beginning was 28%. People read 28% of the text that's on your website. So you got to put it in a way where they can get what they need to get without reading a whole lot. This is, one of y'all mentioned how my favorite website was Netflix. This is actually probably one of the favorites of mine, and this is actually Apple's website. They do a really good job of everything that we talked about, breaking it down for all of their product pages. And if we have time at the end, I'll go through it real quickly with you because I want to show you the movement and how their text interacts with their images. But here are some quick ways that you can break up your text so that that 28% of what people get off of your page is what's important to you and what you want them to take. subheaders, and broken into different sections, you gotta have it. Gotta have white space. So you'll see here, all of this right here, even though the background is technically not white, still called red. But that's there so that your eyes automatically go to the text that's written. You gotta have that break. Another way to do that is bulleted lists. This is a semi-bulleted list, not really, but it could count as one. Really good example. Okay, this, if you remember at the very beginning, I said I love photography. So this is probably one of my favorite tips for content. You've heard this before. A picture is worth 1,000 words, and it's very true. But I have a cool statistic here for you. 90% of the information that's transmitted to your brain is visual. And visuals are processed 60,000 times faster to your brain than text. So yes, you have to have text on your website. But are you using images, videos, infographics to help support that text, to make it more interesting, to involve more of your viewers when they come to your site? So this one right here, this picture is probably the most favorite of the pictures that I've ever taken. And like I mentioned earlier, I usually don't talk this much, but it would probably take me multiple paragraphs, possibly even 1,000 words, to tell you everything behind this picture. Pictures, videos are incredibly powerful. And then number 7 here, you've got to customize the content that you have on your site for each individual page. One of the things that we've talked about in the past is the critical 5 questions that you have to ask whenever you're building a website. Those critical 5 questions can be asked about the content of your website, and they'll make a dramatic effect on reaching your target audience for each specific page. So the people who are coming to your homepage are not going to be the same people that are coming to your contact page. They could be, but the reasons why people go to those different pages, different. If I'm coming to your homepage, it's because I'm looking you up. That's the first information I have about you, trying to figure out who you are. If I'm going to your contact page, that means I want to go a step further. I want to know who you are, but I also want to know how I can reach you. Very important. If you want those critical 5 questions, type it below, let me know, give me a thumbs up. Yes, Paul, that was in Tennessee, and it was amazing. Loved it. So if you want those critical 5 questions, let me know, and I can send them over to you. Okay, so this last tip here for the content phase of your site is to plan for updates. You don't want a website that's out of date. Out of date does not just have to do with your design, it also has to do with the content that's on your site. So specifically plan out times to make changes, to adjust images, to change text, to add different files for people to view, so that your website is staying in the present and staying interesting to those people who are coming to your site. You got to make time for it. Okay, so I'm going to go back through those 8 tips again. Lydia, I love the Smokies too. You have to know the goal of your website. You have to know your audience. Write short, simple sentences. Avoid insider knowledge. Oh, that's really cool, Paul. Neat. I would love to go back there. I love the mountains though, so that's why. Avoid insider knowledge. So avoid language that is going to confuse people when they come to your site. Acronyms, for example. You can have them, just make sure you explain what you're saying. Make the text scannable. Use pictures and videos. Make sure you're writing the content specifically for the page of the website that you're viewing now. And then you got to plan for updates. You got to make sure that your website stays current for everyone who is coming to your site. Okay, this is the third chance that you have, third and final chance to win this book. This is the book that I've been giving away today. It's called So You Have a Website, Now What? It's talking through different types of websites and then how you can monetize your website. This is a book that our boss wrote. His name is Wayne Mullins, and it's really good. Has some great tips in it. So I'm going to be giving it away. Now, in order to get this, I want you to get out your emojis. And in the comment section, I want a thumbs up. So go ahead, put in the comment section right now if you would like to get your name put into the spinning wheel. A thumbs up. Now's your chance. So as I'm waiting for y'all to start putting those thumbs ups in there, one thing that I want to talk about is all of the different resources that I just went through. So I mentioned the Critical 5. I mentioned there is a speed test site. There's a responsive design test site. There's a site